The forest was quiet, only the sound of leaves moving in the soft wind. Captain Elias walked slowly along the narrow path near his farm. He had left the war years ago, but his body still carried the weight of it. He often came here to clear his mind, to feel that maybe peace was possible after so much blood. His dog Rex moved ahead of him. Rex was no ordinary dog. He had been with Elias through battles, through nights of fear and days of fire. Where others fell, Rex always survived. He was more than a companion. He was family. Rex suddenly stopped. His ears rose and his nose twitched. Elias knew this look. It was the same alert Rex gave when enemies were near in the old days. The man's heart tightened. There should be no danger here. This land was safe now, or so he believed. Rex barked, sharp and urgent, and then ran into the thick bushes. Elias followed, his hand moving to the small rifle slung on his back. Old habits never died. Pushing through branches, Elias came into a small clearing. His breath caught. On the ground lay a figure, broken, bleeding, and covered in dust. His uniform was strange but familiar. The sight made Elias freeze. It was an alien soldier, the same kind of enemy that had once killed humans without mercy. The same race that had burned cities and left millions dead. Elias's fist clenched around the rifle. His first thought was to finish it. One shot, and the past would feel a little lighter. But Rex did not growl. Instead, the loyal dog moved closer, tail lowered but not in fear. His eyes looked at Elias as if saying, "Wait, do not act yet." The alien's chest rose and fell weakly. He was still alive. His face was twisted in pain, his breathing heavy. A deep wound ran across his side, glowing faintly with alien blood. Elias took one step forward. His mind screamed of the war, the screams of dying men, the smell of burning ships. He remembered. Beretta's comrades, friends who never came home. This creature was the reason. It was the enemy. Yet Rex stood guard over the fallen alien. His soft growl warned Elias not to come closer with anger. For the first time in years, Elias felt confused. He lowered the rifle just slightly. His heart beat faster. His thoughts ran wild. Why was the alien here, alone, wounded, on human land? Why had Rex, a dog who had never trusted an enemy, chosen to protect him instead of attacking? The alien's lips moved. His voice was rough, broken, but Elias heard a whisper. Help, not enemy. Danger. Then the soldier fell silent again, his body weak and trembling. Elias stepped back. He could leave him to die. No one would ever know. The war had left wounds that still burned inside him. Saving an enemy was madness. He should turn around. He should let Rex come with him. They should walk away. But Rex did not move. He sat beside the alien, as if refusing to abandon him, his eyes locked on Elias, pleading in a way words never could. The silence of the forest grew heavy. Elias felt the weight of a decision pressing on him. Every instinct from the war told him to finish this. Every lesson from peace told him not to repeat old sins. He stood in the middle, torn between past and present. His rifle lowered completely. His heart whispered a question he was not ready to answer. Could he save an enemy? And then another darker thought came. What if this was not just a soldier? What if this alien carried a secret that could change everything? Elias looked at Rex. Rex's loyalty had never failed him. If the dog chose to protect this broken enemy, maybe it was for a reason beyond his understanding. The man sighed, his voice low and heavy. What are you? And why did fate bring you here? He whispered. The alien's body twitched slightly but gave no answer. The only sound was Rex's steady breath, thing, and the soft wind moving the leaves. Elias knew one thing now. His life was no longer simple. This discovery was the beginning of something far greater, and deep inside, he feared it would change not only his world, but the galaxy itself. The night came slowly. Elias sat at the edge of his wooden table, staring at the silent figure in his basement. The alien lay on an old cot, pale skin shining faintly under the dim lantern light. His wound still leaked strange blue blood, thick and heavy, the smell of iron mixed with something Elias could not name. Rex sat near the cot, eyes sharp, ears raised. He had not left the alien's side since they brought him home. Elias felt like a prisoner in his own house. His mind spun with fear. If the colony guards found out, if the neighbors knew he was hiding an alien, they would call him a traitor. They would drag him before the council. They would not listen to reasons. His life would be over. He ran his hand through his hair. The war had taken everything. His wife, his brother, his friends. He still saw their faces in his dreams. He still heard their screams. And now, under his own roof, lay the kind of creature that caused it all. "Why, Rex?" Elias whispered. "Why do you guard him like a friend and not an enemy?" Rex only gave a soft growl, not at Elias, but at the air, as if warning him not to act foolish. The alien's breathing broke the silence. It was shallow but steady. Suddenly, his eyes opened, two glowing orbs, strange and full of pain. He struggled to speak. His voice was cracked, broken. "Not your enemy. Danger. Greater than war." Elias felt his chest tighten. His finger brushed the trigger of his rifle out of habit. The alien coughed, blood staining his lips, yet he pushed the words out. "They betrayed me. Betrayed us all." The words echoed in Elias's mind. Betrayed, but who was they? The alien's commanders, his army, his species. Elias wanted to demand answers, but the fear of being caught was louder than his curiosity. He paced the room like a caged beast. His boots hit the wooden floor with heavy steps. He thought about dragging the alien back to the forest, leaving him to fate. He thought about reporting him to the guards, earning praise as the one who caught a spy. Both choices promised safety. Both choices promised an end to this madness. But Rex blocked the stairs with his body. The dog refused to let the alien be abandoned. Elias stared into those loyal eyes and felt weak. The alien spoke again, weaker this time. "Fleet. Coming. Not my kind. Worse. Worse than us." His voice broke and he collapsed again, his body trembling with fever. Elias froze, his heart pounded hard. Worse than them? He had fought these aliens for years, seen their cruelty, their weapons, their endless fire. What could be worse than that? He sat back down, covering his face with both hands. His breath came heavy. He was a soldier, not a fool. He knew lies when he heard them. But he also knew fear, and in the alien's eyes there had been no lie, only terror. Hours passed. Elias tried to rest, but every creak of the house sounded like the boots of soldiers coming for him. Every gust of wind sounded like whispers of betrayal. He dreamed of burning skies, of ships blotting out the sun, of Rex barking as worlds fell apart. When dawn came, Elias found himself still awake. The alien was alive but weaker. The wound had grown darker, spreading like poison. Without help, he would die. Elias stood still, caught between his heart and his mind. His heart whispered mercy. His mind shouted death. The weight of the galaxy pressed down on his shoulders. He never asked for this. He never wanted this. Yet fate had placed this burden in his hands. Outside, the colony lived its quiet life. Families ate breakfast, farmers walked to fields, children laughed in the streets. No one knew that under Elias's roof, a secret slept, a secret that could ring salvation or destruction. Elias picked up a cloth and pressed it against the alien's wound. He hated himself for doing it, but his hands would not stop. He whispered low, "If you are lying, I will end you with my own hands." The alien's eyes flickered open for a moment, weak but grateful. Rex wagged his tail once, as if Elias had made the right choice, but in that instant, Elias knew there was no turning back. By saving this one enemy, he might have doomed himself, and somewhere deep inside, he felt a cold truth. This was only the beginning. The basement grew colder as night deepened. Elias sat in the chair beside the cot, the rifle leaning against the wall within reach. He could not sleep. His eyes remained fixed on the alien. Every breath from that broken body sounded like a ticking clock. Rex lay stretched across the floor, ears twitching at every sound. The dog was calm but watchful, guarding both Elias and the stranger. It was strange, Elias thought, that Rex trusted this creature more than any human stranger he had ever met. The alien stirred, his eyes opening slowly. His gaze flicked to Elias, then to Rex. His voice rasped like dry leaves. "You saved me." His words were simple, but behind them was a depth Elias could not explain. "I did not save you," Elias answered sharply. "You are alive only because my dog refused to let you die." His tone carried both anger and confusion. The alien gave a weak smile, a sad curve of his lips. "Dogs. Loyal. Beyond war." Elias narrowed his eyes. He did not want to hear wisdom from the enemy. He wanted answers. Why are you here, wounded, alone? What happened to your soldiers? The alien coughed, his body shaking. Then he whispered words that made Elias's skin crawl. They hunted me, my own kind. I carry what they fear. Elias leaned closer, his grip tightening on the chair. What do you mean? He demanded. The alien's eyes glowed faintly, not with strength, but with something deeper. I know the truth, a truth that can burn empires. Before Elias could press further, the alien tried to lift his hand. His palm trembled as he revealed a small metallic shard hidden under his torn uniform. It glimmered with strange light, pulsing like a heartbeat. Rex barked once, low and sharp. Elias stepped back in caution. The alien pressed the shard against his chest. His voice broke. This holds records. Betrayal. Invasion. Not my people. Worse. Ancient. Elias froze. His breath caught in his throat. He stared at the shard as if it were poison, a secret hidden in the body of his enemy, a secret that others had tried to kill him for. His mind raced. If this was true, then the war humans thought was over, was only the surface of something darker. If it was a lie, then Elias was being tricked into treason. The alien's strength faded again. His hand dropped, the shard clattering softly onto the wooden floor. Rex sniffed it but did not touch. Elias bent and picked it up with trembling fingers. The shard felt warm, alive, as if it carried more than data. It carried fate. Elias held it tight, staring at its glow. His thoughts twisted. Should he destroy it? Should he hide it? Or should he listen to the words of a dying enemy? The alien whispered again, barely audible. If they find me, they find you too. They will burn this world, as they burned mine. His eyes closed, his breath slowing. Elias sat back hard, the chair creaking under his weight. Sweat dripped from his brow. The room felt too small, too dark. He wanted to run outside and scream into the night sky, but he knew silence was his only shield. He looked at Rex. The dog stared back calmly, as if waiting for his master to understand. Elias shook his head. You always trusted more than me, Rex. But if this alien speaks the truth, then we are sitting on a storm. The shard pulsed in his hand, each beat like a drum against his skin. He had seen strange weapons during the war, but nothing like this. This was no tool of battle. It was a message, a warning, maybe even a key. For the first time, Elias felt something deeper than fear. He felt destiny pulling him. He did not want it, but it clung to him like chains. From outside came the faint sound of boots in the distance, voices carried in the wind. Elias's body tensed. Were they searching for him? Had someone seen him drag the alien through the forest? Rex growled, moving closer to the door. Elias blew out the lantern quickly. The basement sank into darkness. He pressed the shard close to his chest, his heart pounding. In the silence, he realized one thing with burning clarity. By keeping this alien alive, by touching this shard, he had crossed a line he could never return from. Whatever secret the alien carried, it was now his burden too. And deep in his gut, Elias knew the galaxy would come hunting for it. The dawn came gray and heavy. Elias had not slept. The shard sat on the table before him, glowing with a slow rhythm like the beating of a hidden heart. He stared at it for hours, afraid to touch it again, afraid of what it might reveal. Rex lay by the alien's side. The soldier's breathing was weak but steady. Fever burned across his skin, yet his eyes snapped open the moment Elias pushed the shard closer. The alien's voice trembled, but carried weight. You hold more than metal. You hold truth. His words cracked like stone breaking. Activate it, and you will see. Elias clenched his jaw. His hand hovered over the shard. His mind screamed at him to throw it into the fire. But something inside him, stronger than fear, whispered that he must know. He pressed his thumb against the shard's surface. The glow expanded, spilling light across the basement walls. Strange images flickered in the air like ghosts of fire and shadow. Elias's eyes widened. He saw fleets of warships, vast and endless. They were not alien ships he had fought before. They were older, darker, covered in symbols no human eye had ever recorded. He saw worlds burning, Stars swallowed by black storms, entire civilizations screaming in silence as their skies cracked apart. The alien spoke through the light, his voice shaking. These are the ancient ones, forgotten by all. They wake now. They devour everything, friend and foe alike. Elias gripped the chair until his knuckles turned white. His throat went dry. He had seen horrors in war, but never this. This was not war. This was extinction. The alien coughed, blood on his lips again. My commanders. They struck a bargain with them. To spare themselves. They betrayed us. Betrayed you. Betrayed all life. His words broke like glass. Elias felt his body tremble. His voice came low. Why tell me? Why trust me? The alien's glowing eyes locked on him. Because your people, your kind, fight differently. Where others bow, humans resist. You are the last chance. Rex barked sharply, as if agreeing. His tail beat the floor once. Elias looked at his dog and then back at the alien. His heart burned with conflict. How could humanity fight an enemy even the galaxies feared? The shard's light shifted again, showing something new, a star map. Elias leaned closer, recognizing human space at the edge. The map pulsed, highlighting a hidden sector deep in alien territory. The alien whispered, There. A weapon. Older than them. Only one who shows mercy may wield it. The light faded. The shard went dark. Elias sat in silence. The basement felt smaller than ever. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. He wanted to laugh at the madness. He wanted to scream. He was just a man, a farmer now, not a savior. Yet fate had dragged him into this storm. The alien collapsed back onto the cot, his strength nearly gone. Protect it. Trust your dog. Trust yourself, or all will fall. His eyes closed again, but Elias knew he had not spoken lies. Boots crunched on gravel outside. Voices drifted through the thin walls of the house. Elias froze. His blood turned cold. The guards were near, maybe searching for someone, maybe for him. Rex growled low, fur bristling. The alien's hand twitched, his body too weak to move. Elias grabbed the shard and stuffed it inside his jacket. His heart thundered in his ears. The boots grew louder. A knock hammered against the door above. Elias's breath caught. He glanced at the alien, then at Rex. He whispered harshly, Silence, no sound. The guards called out, Elias, open up. We have reports of movement in the forest. Have you seen anything? Their tone was casual, but Elias heard the edge in their voices. They were not simply asking, they were searching. Elias's hand gripped the doorframe as he climbed the stairs slowly. He forced a calm face as he opened the door. 2 guards stood outside, rifles slung at their sides. Behind them, a third scanned the house with sharp eyes. No trouble here, Elias said flatly. Only me and Rex. You know he barks at shadows. The dog padded up behind him, tail wagging as if nothing was wrong. His calm eyes betrayed nothing. The guards exchanged glances. One leaned closer. Some say they saw strange lights last night. In the forest near your land. If you see anything, report it. Enemy spies are still out there. Elias nodded. Of course. His heart raced, sweat tickled his brow, but his voice held steady. The guards finally moved on, their boots fading down the dirt path. Elias shut the door quickly, leaning against it with a heavy breath. Rex pressed his head against Elias's leg, steadying him. He whispered, We cannot hide forever, Rex. The secret is too big. The dog's eyes glowed in the faint morning light, and Elias felt a strange certainty, as if the animal understood the weight of the choice ahead. The alien stirred weakly behind them. His whisper carried through the room. The message is now yours, and the galaxy will come for it. Elias's heart sank like a stone. He knew from this moment on, his life was no longer his own. The sun climbed higher, but Elias's house felt colder. The secret he now carried burned heavier than any weapon. The shard was hidden in his jacket, yet he felt its weight pressing against his soul. The alien lay weak, but his eyes remained open, watching Elias with a strange mix of fear and hope. Rex sat between them, silent and alert, as if guarding both at once. Elias paced the wooden floor, his boots echoing softly. His mind fought itself. He wanted to throw the shard away, bury it in the deepest pit, Pretend this was not his problem. But the images of burning worlds haunted him. The screams he had seen in the shard's vision tore at his heart. Finally, Elias spoke, his voice hard. If I believe you, then what? You are wounded, dying, and I am just a man who grows crops now. What can either of us do against an ancient enemy? The alien coughed, pain twisting his face. Not just you, he whispered. Your people, your strength, your will to fight when others kneel. That is what they fear. Elias stared at him, silent. He thought of humanity's history, how they had survived every war, every plague, every darkness. He thought of the stubborn spark in humans that refused to die. Perhaps the alien was right. Still, trust was not easy. Elias's hand moved to his rifle. And if this is a trap, if you bring doom to my people, then I swear I will end you myself. His words cut like steel. The alien did not flinch. His glowing eyes softened. Then let your dog judge me. He reached a trembling hand toward Rex. The dog sniffed it, then pressed his nose gently against the alien's palm. Elias felt his breath catch. Rex, who had never trusted an enemy, now accepted him. Something deeper than words passed in that moment, a silent pact sealed not by men but by loyalty. Elias sat down slowly. The fire in his chest cooled. He said quietly, then we stand together. But know this, trust is earned, and if you betray it, there will be no mercy. The alien nodded weakly, agreed. His body trembled, but in his eyes burned a faint light of relief. For the next hours, Elias tended to his wounds. He boiled water, cleaned the gash with cloth, and bound it tighter. The alien winced, but bore the pain without complaint. Rex stayed close, watching every move. When Elias finished, he leaned back and whispered, "Tell me everything. If I am to risk my life, my home, my people, then I must know the truth." The alien's voice grew steady, though weak. "My name is Kyle, soldier of the Varen Legion. We were once proud, once warriors of the stars, but our leaders bent the knee to the ancient ones. They promised safety, but they only brought chains. Those of us who refused were hunted." His gaze hardened. "That is why they left me for dead." Elias listened, his jaw tight. The story rang with the sound of truth. Betrayal was something he understood well. His people had tasted it many times in war. Kyle's eyes flickered toward the shard. "That map leads to an ancient weapon, hidden before the fall of empires. It can turn the tide, but it will not answer to my people. Only to one who shows mercy. That is why I gave it to you." Elias felt the weight of destiny press down again. He wanted to deny it, to push it away. Yet deep inside, he knew the truth. He had already made the choice when he saved Kale's life. Suddenly, Rex's ears snapped up, his body stiffened. A growl rolled from his throat. Elias grabbed his rifle instantly. His heart thudded. Outside, faint voices carried on the wind, sharper this time, closer. Kale's face paled. "They are searching," he whispered. "If they find me here, they will burn this place. They will not stop." Elias looked around his small home. Every board, every stone carried years of sweat and memory. This was his sanctuary after war. Yet now it might become a battlefield. He turned to Kale, his voice firm. "Then we move. Tonight, when the stars rise, we leave this place. You cannot stay here. God and I cannot hide you forever." Kale's lips trembled, but he nodded. "If you take me to the mountains, I can send a signal to those who still resist." Elias narrowed his eyes. "Resist who? The ancients or your own people?" Kale's voice grew sharper despite his weakness. "Both." His eyes burned with fire. "If we do not fight now, there will be nothing left to resist." The words struck Elias deep. They reminded him of his own speeches to his men during the war, the same fire, the same desperation. He felt a strange kinship, though it came from an enemy. Rex barked once, loud and commanding, as if sealing the decision. Elias sighed. "Then it is settled. We will leave tonight. But remember this, Kyle. The moment you betray me, you will not live to regret it." Kale bowed his head weakly. "I swear by what is left of my honor, I will not betray you." The room fell silent, but the air was heavy with tension. Elias stroked Rex's head, whispering, "Looks like we are in this together now, old friend." The dog's steady gaze told him he was not alone. Above them, the sky darkened with storm clouds. Thunder rolled in the distance, as if the heavens themselves warned of what was coming. Elias knew this was no longer about his farm, his peace, or even his own survival. This was the beginning of a war greater than any he had ever known, and he, a single man with a loyal dog and a dying alien, was now standing at the center of it. The night fell heavy over the colony, dark clouds swallowed the stars, and thunder rumbled like drums of war. Elias stood at his window, rifle in hand, his heart pounded with every flash of lightning. The storm felt like an omen, a warning that the peace of this land was about to end. Down in the basement, Kale lay restless, his wounds still raw but his spirit unbroken. Rex paced the room, his body stiff, his ears sharp. He sensed what Elias felt. Something was coming, Elias whispered to himself. If they find us tonight, everything ends. He checked the shard hidden under his jacket. Its faint glow pulsed in rhythm with his heart. He hated it, but he knew it was now part of him, part of his fate. Suddenly, Rex barked sharp and urgent. Elias rushed to the door. His eyes caught movement on the far ridge, shadows sliding in the dark. Too many for hunters, too precise for wanderers, soldiers. Kael's voice rose weakly from below. They found me. They are here. His eyes burned with both fear and fury. They will not take the shard. They will burn this place to ash. Elias's blood ran cold. He remembered the last war, the smell of burning homes, the cries of the innocent. He would not let it happen again. Not here, not now. He hurried down to the basement, his voice low. Kael, can you walk? The alien tried to stand, his legs trembling, his body shook, but his eyes stayed sharp. I will fight until my last breath. Rex barked again, louder. The dog's body pressed against the door, his fur bristling, his growl rolled like thunder. Elias gritted his teeth. Then we fight together. The first strike came sudden. A blast ripped through the outer wall of the farm. Flames lit the night, wood shattered, smoke filled the air. The enemy had arrived. Figures poured from the shadows, armored and armed, their rifles glowing with alien light. Their helmets reflected the fire. Elias fired his weapon, the crack of human steel ripping through the storm. One soldier fell, another staggered, but more kept coming. Rex leapt into the fight, teeth flashing, his growls mixed with the thunder as he dragged one enemy to the ground. The alien screamed, his weapon falling from his grip. Elias's heart surged with pride and fear. Rex fought like a warrior born. Kale stumbled forward, grabbing a fallen rifle from the ground. Though his body shook with weakness, he fired. His blast cut through the dark, striking his own kind. Betrayal in his eyes, rage in his soul. The attack. Ers hesitated, shocked to see one of their own fighting against them. Elias used the moment, driving them back with fire and fury. This is my home, he shouted. You will not take it. But the enemy regrouped. Their leader stepped forward, towering, his voice booming. Human, surrender the traitor and the shard, and we may let you live. Elias's grip tightened. His answer came like stone. Over my dead body. The leader raised his weapon, but before he could fire, Rex charged, slamming into him with all his strength. The two crashed to the ground, teeth and steel clashing in the storm. Kale staggered beside Elias. We cannot win this fight. Not here, not now. We must run. Elias wanted to argue, but he saw the truth. More shadows were coming over the ridge. More soldiers, too many. He fired another shot, dropping one more enemy, then grabbed Kale's arm. Move! Together they stumbled into the back door. Rex broke free from the fight, blood on his fur, but his eyes still blazing with fire. He ran at Elias's side. The three of them raced into the storm. Lightning lit the fields. Fire roared behind them as the farm collapsed into flames. Elias's chest ached. His home, his sanctuary, everything he had built was gone. But inside him burned something stronger than grief. A fire he had not felt since the war. A fire that whispered he was not done yet, not broken yet. Kale gasped as they ran. The mountains. If we reach the caves, I can call the resistors. We must survive the night. Elias nodded, his jaw tight. Then we will survive. Behind them the enemy shouted, weapons firing into the storm. Bolts of light tore the air. Soil exploded around their feet, but they did not stop. Rex barked with fury, guiding them through the dark. His body moved like lightning itself. He did not slow. He did not fear. Elias knew then, as the storm swallowed them, that this was no longer just about survival. This was war again. A war not of armies and nations, but of destiny. He whispered to the storm, his words carried away by the wind. You came for us, but we are not so easy to kill. And deep in his heart, Elias felt it. The battle for the galaxy had already begun. The storm raged as Elias, Kale, and Rex fought their way up the mountain path. Rain hammered down, thunder roared above, lightning lit the jagged cliffs, showing the fire of his burning farm far behind. His past was gone, only the future remained. Kale staggered with every step, his wounds slowing him. Elias half-carried him, his muscles burning. Rex ran ahead, barking warnings when shadows moved on the ridge. They were being hunted, the enemy would not stop. At last they reached a cave carved into the rock. Kale collapsed inside, his chest heaving. He pulled a device from his belt, cracked and sparking. His voice broke. This can call the resistors, if it still works. Elias looked at him sharply. And if it does, will they come to help us or kill us? Kale's glowing eyes met his. They will come for the shard, but only you can decide what happens then. The shard pulsed again inside Elias's jacket, warm and alive. He pulled it out, its light filling the dark cave. The storm outside seemed to fade beneath its glow. Images flickered once more, burning stars, broken worlds, the ancient ones rising like shadows of doom. Elias clenched his fist around it. His voice was low. So this is it. The choice. Give it to you, to your people, or destroy it here and now. Kyle struggled upright, his face pale but his eyes fierce. If you destroy it, humanity dies with us. If you keep it, they will hunt you across the galaxy. But if you use it, you may awaken the weapon and change everything. Elias's mind raged. He saw the faces of his dead friends, the ruins of his farm, the innocent families of the colony, all of them depending on him without knowing it. He was just a man, not a leader, not a hero, yet fate had placed the galaxy in his hands. Rex growled softly, stepping closer to Elias. His eyes shone in the shard's light. Elias felt a strange calm settle inside him, as if his loyal companion already knew the answer. The roar of engines shook the air. Outside the cave, enemy dropships descended, lights cutting through the storm. Soldiers poured onto the cliffs, their weapons glowing. Voices shouted, orders carried by the wind. They were closing in. Kale's device sparked in his hand, a weak signal rising into the storm. He shouted, "The resistors will hear us, but we must hold them off." His voice cracked with desperation. Elias raised his rifle, jaw clenched. "Then we hold." The first wave of soldiers stormed the cave mouth. Elias fired, his shots echoing like thunder. One enemy fell, then another. Rex leapt into the fray, teeth flashing, dragging a soldier down in the mud. Kale forced himself to fire too, his blast searing through the storm. But more kept coming. The cave shook with the fury of battle. Elias's arms burned from firing. Blood ran from a cut on his brow. Kale collapsed again, too weak to rise. Rex barked, blood staining his fur, yet he never stopped fighting. The leader of the soldiers stepped forward, his voice booming into the cave. "Human, surrender the shard or watch your world die." Elias's heart pounded. He held the shard high, its light blinding in the storm. His voice thundered back, "No." The shard pulsed, brighter than ever before. A wave of light burst out, slamming into the soldiers, their weapons shattered, their bodies thrown back. The storm itself seemed to bow to its power. Kale gasped, eyes wide. "It has chosen. It listens to you." His voice broke with awe. "You are the one." Elias stood in the cave mouth, Rex at his side, the shard glowing in his hand. The soldiers scrambled back, fear in their eyes. For the first time, they were not the hunters. They were the hunted. From the clouds above, a deep hum shook the sky. A massive shape emerged, an ancient vessel awakening. Its surface glowed with symbols older than time, its engines roared like a god rising from slumber. Kale whispered, tears in his voice. The weapon, awakened. By mercy, by loyalty, by you. Elias felt the shard bond to him, a link of fire and spirit. He looked at Rex, the loyal dog who had led him here, who had saved both enemy and friend. Elias whispered, "We fight for them all, Rex, for every life they would take." The ship's power spread across the storm, burning away the darkness. The soldiers fled in terror, their leader screaming orders no one followed. The ground shook with the force of destiny. Elias raised the shard high, his voice carrying across the storm. "You wanted my choice," he roared. "Here it is. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break. We stand, and we fight." The cave shook with his words. The ancient vessel answered with a roar that split the sky. In that moment, Elias knew one farmer, one dog, and one dying enemy had changed the fate of the galaxy, not with hatred, not with revenge, but with the power of mercy. And so began the war, not of survival, but of destiny. The war that would be remembered forever. The war that started with a dog, a man, and a choice that shook the stars.